Vietnam Industries, Textiles and Garments. Vietnam's rise in the textile and garment industry may seem new and novel and perhaps even like a shift towards modernity in the eyes of outsiders, but to those familiar with Vietnam's long history, the recent success in this industry shows that the Vietnamese haven't forgotten their tradition. Having been a leader in this industry for centuries, many factories have found ways to blend modern and traditional manufacturing methods to create in-demand products, often with long-used materials such as shantung taffeta and ebony satin. However, now Vietnam uses more widely known raw materials, of which 70% are imported in order to reach a wider range of customers. 90% of the cotton and 100% of the synthetic fiber used comes from abroad, and CMT, cut make trim, accounts for 70% of the factories in Vietnam. This means that the raw materials, design and logistics are taken care of by the customer and just the manufacturing is done by the supplier. The result is a high growth rate, but little value added. Over the 2020s, the government aims to help expand the industry's role in this process by increasing the amount of factories that use the OEM/FOB, ODM and OBM methods, which will certainly be a challenge for the over 5,000 businesses in Vietnam devoted to this sector. Earlier this year, the RCEP trade deal, which plans to end 90% of the tariffs between the 20 signatories, went into effect. Many of the countries in this deal already had FTAs, free trade agreements, with Vietnam. But non-ASEAN countries such as China, Japan and Australia will now have an easier time trading with Southeast Asian nations. Furthermore, products made in Vietnam using parts from non-ASEAN countries that are part of the RCEP won't face the tariffs they previously faced when entering other ASEAN countries. In 2019, worries over cheap imports flooding the domestic market and outcompeting small businesses caused India to choose to depart from the RCEP. Similar worries are present in Vietnam as 98% of businesses are SMEs, small and medium enterprises, accounting for 40% of GDP. Many of these SMEs are in the textile industry, and the recent trade deals will probably encourage Vietnam to shift away from CMT and either towards OEM, ODM and OBM, or away from the textile industry altogether and towards more high-tech industries such as machinery and electronics, their two largest exports to date.
Hey guys, this is Alan here. Please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more content. And if you have any questions about Vietnam or any suggestions for video ideas, just let me know in the comments below. Thanks.
With international brands like Zara, DKNY, Calvin Klein and Nike having products made in Vietnam, this Southeast Asian nation has proven they have the potential to satisfy the highest quality demands. Costs remain low as the minimum wage of $2.99 is significantly lower than those of China, $6.50, Mexico, $4.82, and many other nations. Short lead times are another advantage, especially in this fast-moving industry that Vietnam possesses. You can expect a quotation within 3 to 5 days, a sample in 7 to 10 days, and 10 to 12 weeks for bulk manufacturing. MOQs, minimum order quantities, however, can be quite high, usually around 3,000, which means that smaller companies looking to source from Vietnam may need to start with a smaller supplier before moving to a bigger and better one. Finding suppliers can also be a challenge as there is not an Alibaba type of B2B platform, but rather many smaller B2B platforms of which most suppliers will only use one or two, if any. Other challenges exist, such as making sure that the dyes and other chemicals used meet the regulations of the markets they are being sold in, and even making sure that the sizes used match the size chart of those markets. Work conditions in the factories may also be an issue that will require social auditing, or proof of certifications. Finally, the last issue is of course, COVID. The inability to get raw materials, especially from China, caused a disruption. 80% of factories have been on reduced shifts, and as many of the employees are from more rural provinces and live in dorms near their factory for several years as they send money home to their families during their 20s, many of these employees went home, found new jobs, and won't be going back. By June of 2020, the estimated loss was above $500 million, but these losses were mitigated to an extent by the industry's redirection toward the production of PPE. However, 2020 would still become the industry's first in 25 years where year-on-year exports decreased. A recovery has begun though. In the first 4 months of 2022, export turnover went up 22.2% from the same time span of the previous year and reached $11.8 billion. During the same period, textile exports to the US, Bangladesh and Indonesia rose 26.8%, 61.9% and 45.1% respectively, and the US accounted for over 50% of the total. 1.6 million people, 6% of the total workforce, work in the textile industry, and from 2014 to 2019, the industry grew by an average of 17% each year. With the U.S. departure from the TPP, and the implementation of trade deals like the RCEP, EVFTA and UKVFTA, along with the government's aimed shift away from CMT, Vietnam will likely remain a leading exporter of textiles, but changes in Vietnam's role in the industry can be expected. For more information about sourcing from Asia, follow me on LinkedIn, send me a message, or visit my YouTube page, Vietnam Business with Alan Heary. I work at VTrust Inspection Services, the largest inspection company in Asia using full-time inspectors only. For information on inspections and audits in Asia, please visit www.vtrust.com or message me on LinkedIn.